Hey, hello everyone. So, welcome back to my channel. So, this is my channel, and you can subscribe to this channel to get various classes of paper 1 and paper 2, commerce and management for NTA UGC NET, 11th and 12th standard commerce subjects, BCom, MCom, BBA, MBA, all these topics. इसके अलावा you can also find me on Unacademy. I am a verified educator at Unacademy. अनअकैडमी पे आप मुझे अदिति विनोद आर्या के नाम से फॉलो कर सकते हैं. मैं एनटीए यूजीसी नेट कैटेगरी में पढ़ाती हूँ एंड देयर आर वेरियस स्पेशल क्लासेस गोइंग ऑन अनअकैडमी. अगर आपको नहीं पता, सो दीज आर द स्पेशल क्लासेस गोइंग राइट नाउ. यू कैन अटेंड दोस. और कल से मतलब फ्रॉम 24th वी विल बी स्टार्टिंग विद रिसर्च एप्टीट्यूड पीवाईक्यूज 2020 and research aptitude summary. So don't miss and join Telegram channel to get the updates. Telegram channel का नाम है Learning to Learn 2017. Apart from this, अनअकैडमी पे अभी राइट नाउ दिस इज गोइंग ऑन. अगर आप नेट सब्सक्रिप्शन अभी परचेज करते हैं तो अगर आपने 6 मंथ्स का सब्सक्रिप्शन लिया है तो 2 मंथ्स आपको एक्स्ट्रा मिलेंगे, और 12 मंथ्स का सब्सक्रिप्शन लिया है तो 2 मंथ्स और एक्स्ट्रा मिलेंगे. सो मेक श्योर यू ज्वाइन. अगर आप प्लस या आइकॉनिक सब्सक्रिप्शन लेना चाहते हैं 31 जुलाई से पहले लेने का बहुत ज्यादा फायदा है आपको. एंड यू कैन यूज अदिति लाइव रेफरल कोड टू अवेल 10% डिस्काउंट. इसके अलावा you can also follow me on various platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram for various updates. So make sure you join the classes and let's start the topic today. So today's topic is merits and demerits of neoclassical theory. We have already gone through various features of neoclassical theory and introduction of neoclassical theory. So classical theory and neoclassical theory are totally opposite to each other, and neoclassical theory was started on the demerits of classical theory. Now moving forward, we have done all this. You can see the previous sessions and get the entire idea. This video is available in English also and Hindi also, so make sure you watch those sessions. Now, merits of neoclassical theory, today we'll be focusing on this. The neoclassical theory emerged as the consequence of Hawthorne experiments. I'm really sorry, the blank thing here is Hawthorne experiments. I did not write, I don't know why, which tried to bring changes in the organization in the existing classical theory by introducing the following points. So these are certain merits or the plus points of neoclassical theory. I'm reading one by one and I'm highlighting the same, so make sure you catch up. The neoclassical theory emphasized upon the flat structure of the organization against the classical structure, which emphasized upon a stall structure with minimum span of control. The flat structure emphasized by neoclassical theorists is not only increase the interactions but also increase the span of control and motivation layers. So what do we understand by you can say this flat structure? Flat structure means when we have less authority and less responsibility and less number of people or less number of designations, so it becomes a flat like this, a straight line, a straight horizontal line. But when we talk about a long structure, that is the vertical, so we have top level, we have middle level, we have bottom level, and we have many number of people involved in the organization. We have various layers of authority and responsibility flowing. So here the number of people increase, the designation increases, thus having more and more interaction with one another. So the first thing they said that the flat structure should be converted into the long structure. That will have a good impact and it will also increase the span of control. The second point, the neoclassical theory the neoclassical theory emphasized upon decentralization. Decentralization means to delegate the authority and responsibility and make that particular thing as a part of the organization structure. So here the organization structure should be such that the employees should be given authority and responsibility for a particular task, and that should be their designation for the future also. So this helps to reduce the control by top level management and increase more efficiency in the organization. So the neoclassical theory emphasized upon decentralization of work, which was advantageous for the organization. At the lower level, employees felt more autonomous. Autonomous means more, you can say, free or independent. They worked hard in order to achieve higher position of the organization. So here this became one of the motivators. Now, third point, it gave importance to informal organization for the first time in the history of the organization behavior, where the classical theory only gave importance to formal organization whose main function was to run the management effectively and ignoring employee needs. So yes, we could say that this was the first attempt to actually give importance to informal organization, to the social needs of the employee, that employee is a social animal and he or she needs a social group. According to neoclassical theorists, both formal and informal organization are interdependent. Formal organization performs the functions of management, whereas informal organization fulfills the socio-psychological needs. So to conclude the merits of this particular topic, I could simply say that neoclassical theory mainly emphasizes upon the social needs, the social psychological needs of the employees, and thus helping him to interact, communicate, participate more, thus even changing the productivity of the organization. So the neoclassical theory further emphasized upon that the management can make use of informal groups not only to fulfill the aims of the management, but by introducing the speedy communication channels in those informal groups, the formal organization can take their help for the quick decision making and also getting new innovative ideas. So with the help of these informal organizations and informal channels especially, they could have quick decision, they could reduce the time consumption in decision making, they could also get new innovative ideas, they could get more participation, etc. So these were all the advantages, or what could we say, the merits of neoclassical theory. In the next session we would be discussing about certain drawbacks or certain limitations of neoclassical theory, and I would be explaining the same. I hope you have understood this class. Take good care of yourself, study hard, and if there is anything you want to ask, you can just comment in the comment section. I'll go through that. Take good care of yourselves. Bye everyone.